It's Daryl Ryder, Nick Padone in for the boys. Ken and Anthony have the day off. We think they're going to be back on Monday. At least one of them, Ken. I guess Lima's under the weather, so I hope he feels better soon. Combing through this Browns coaching search. Grant Udinski's going to talk today. A lot of news this morning coming out of Buffalo with not only the involvement of Josh Allen in that particular coaching search, but the fact that the Bills are lining up their Rooney Rule candidates. They're going to be in position if they would like to hire Grant Udinski this weekend. They're going to be able to do it, whereas the Cleveland Browns will not. They do not have, right now, they have not fulfilled the Rooney Rule.
At least that we know of.
That we know of. We know Nate Fieldhouse was going to be one of those candidates. Mike McDaniel did not interview with the Browns earlier this week because he wanted to go be the Chargers offensive coordinator, but now he today is interviewing with the Bills down in South Florida for the head coach job. I don't think he's going to get it, but he's helping them out, I think. And, the Browns, the worst case scenario for them, they want to hire Udinski and he ends up in Buffalo.
That'd be bad. But he's the closer in Buffalo. He's the last interview that they've got scheduled currently. That's going to take place Sunday down there in Florida. So
was Jesse Minter in Baltimore. So was Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta.
Just a little bit of coaching news, AFC North coaching news. Chargers have requested Ravens DC Zach Orr to interview for their vacant job that Jesse Minter left vacant because he went to be the Ravens head coach now. So just AFC North news. It's not really breaking or anything.
A little defensive coordinator swap could be in the works.
Well, thanks for Jesse Minter, and now
you take ours, we'll take yours.
Jim Schwartz is another part of this equation. Under what circumstances is he willing to stay with the Browns? Would he be willing to stay and work under either Udinski or Fieldhouse? If they don't promote him, I kind of feel like Jim Schwartz is the Mike Pettin in this scenario. He is we couldn't get anybody else. Because I feel like that if Jim Schwartz was the guy, okay, this would have been done already.
What more could you possibly need to know about Jim Schwartz? He's been in your building for 3 years.
Right.
So that's even why I thought it was like a little bit interesting that they met with him first in the second round of interviews, because it's like, what more is there really to know? Like, what more are you guys searching for that you lead off with Jim so you know that he's an option that you could have in your back pocket while you start to orchestrate some of the others, the Munkins, the McDaniels, the Minters. Obviously, those ones fell through, but now, your younger candidates and Udinski and Fieldhouse, like, Monday feels like a long time ago when Jim Schwartz had that second interview. A lot's changed since then.
I've had a lot of hair on my head turn gray since Monday. That is how long this week has been.
Well, let me ask you this, Daryl. Should Browns fans then, we were talking about the championship weekend a little bit in the last segment, should Browns fans really be pulling for Seattle so Fieldhouse is eliminated from this thing so we could move forward if Fieldhouse is the guy that they want to hire, regardless of outcome? I feel like maybe Browns fans should be pulling for Seattle so Nate frees up so you can hire him, because now, like, Owen's already reading coordinators are getting hired. Like, you're going to want to build a staff around this guy that's only been in the National Football League for 2 years. I can't imagine Fieldhouse has a really deep Rolodex of connections that he could call to come be assistants on his staff when he's only been in the league for 2 years.
Well, and this is the benefit if you're able to keep Jim Schwartz. That's a major chunk of the coaching staff that's taken care of, and you only have to worry about who's your special teams coordinator going to be. And
the whole rest of the offense, though, who's the running back coach? Who's the offensive line coach? Who's coaching the receivers? Because Chad O'Shea's gone. The bad man is actually gone.
By the way, why is Bubba Ventrone still here?
He's still the associate head coach.
Why?
He's next in line.
I don't care what his title is. Why is he still here?
You could have asked that question after week one of the season.
I was asking that question week 3 of the season. I was asking that very question. I think I asked it on a weekly basis. Why is he still here? And especially after the shots he took at the front office late in the season.
Did Kevin hire a special teams coordinator yet in Atlanta?
No. So.
Could you hook me up with one of the Atlanta radio stations, and I'll go on and do an interview there and talk about Kevin and Tommy Reese, and I'll mention, and Callahan, they've got the whole band. I'll mention on there. I'll say, you know what? Up here in Cleveland, we've got a guy who got such a bad rap in town. His name's Bubba Ventrone. He even came out and bemoaned the fact that he doesn't really have a special teams ace. That's not something that you guys had Cordell Patterson for all those years down here. Atlanta's a place that cares about special teams. I got just the guy for you guys, Atlanta and the Falcons. It's Bubba Ventrone. Daryl, you got to orchestrate. That's how this. You gotta get me on in the radio down there.
It's not my job to book Atlanta radio stations guests. I have enough on my plate.
Hey, you got to think about the greater good, though. I'm the chip that's going to get Bubba Ventrone out of town and bridge him to his next job with the Falcons.
Okay, I just double-checked to make sure that Kevin Stefanski had not filled the special teams coordinator job in Atlanta real quick. He has not.
It's vacant.
It is an open position. Bubba,
are they covering that in Atlanta right now? They should be. They should be. We learned firsthand just how important that special teams coordinator is this year.
He kept Ulbrich down there to be the defensive coordinator. Tommy Reese is down there as the OC. Got his guy Bill Callahan to handle his offensive line. Kept a couple of the offensive assistants. Kept a couple of the defensive assistants as well.
So what's one more? What's adding Bubba Ventrone to the list? Hurt? I don't think he hurts.
I'm all for getting Bubba out of here as quickly as possible because I thought he did a terrible job. Now Bubba will tell you otherwise. He'll tell you what a great job he did, even though they couldn't block on kick protect, they couldn't block on returns, they couldn't return. They certainly
couldn't cover on punt.
Yeah, you certainly couldn't. You're right about that. It got punts blocked, right?
Right.
Numerous times.
You know what? I just figured. It hit me. It just hit me right now.
What, that he didn't have a special teams ace?
No. Why he's still here?
Oh.
It's one of the reasons Andrew Berry kept his job. Andre Schmidt. He straightened out Andre Schmidt. That's what that. It just dawned on me because I'm trying to go through right all these things that went wrong on special teams this year, and this guy has still not been fired, and they're gonna, I guess, leave it up to the new head coach, whoever that's going to be, to decide whether or not he gets to stay on as special teams coordinator. I totally forgot Andre Schmidt, cornerstone of the Cleveland Browns, according to Jimmy Haslam, and quite the find by Andrew Berry. There it is. That's why.
Daryl, people would lose their minds if whatever coach that they hire, whether it's Schwartz, whether it's Udinsky, whether it's Shieldhouse, whether they hire Todd Monken as the head coach of this thing, whoever they decide on, if that guy decides to keep Bubba Ventrone as the special teams coordinator, people's brains will break.
Well, I think people's brains are going to break regardless of who they hire for a multitude of reasons, many of which we've covered this morning, Nick. It's probably going to be a young offensive coach, Shieldhouse, Udinsky, coming to an organization that is not known for cultivating quality head coaches. See the likes of Rob Chudzinski and Freddie Kitchens and Pat Shurmur, and we could be here all morning going through every coaching failure that the Browns have hired of the young up-and-comers, right? And then there's no quarterback here that we know of. Maybe it's Shador. Maybe it's not. It's definitely not Dylan Gabriel. I think we can agree on that. It's not going to be Dylan Gabriel, okay? But the state of affairs being what they are here, makes this a challenging job. Not only do you have to learn how to be an NFL head coach on the job, because you're going to roll into the facility hopefully on a tricycle, going to have them training wheels on you.
You and the tricycle.
Yep, going to roll in on the tricycle, got them training wheels, first-time head coach, but unfortunately you're having to do it with the Cleveland Browns, who have many an issue right now, and you got to put together an offense that currently has 2 running backs and a tight end and nothing much else. Good luck to you. I mean, listen, whoever they hire, I'm going to wish them well. I'm not going to be rooting against them. I will be fair and objective and whatnot. I'm sorry. I can't get excited when this organization, who has a history of just completely blowing it, like if Grant Udinski ended up with the Buffalo Bills, I would have no problem believing that guy is going to be a successful head coach.
But if he ends up here, you're not going to think the same thing. If he ends up here, you don't think he's going to have success. It's the same guy. It's just wearing a blue hat versus wearing a brown one.
Hang on. If Grant Udinski were to end up with the Arizona Cardinals, I don't think he's going to be successful there either. Because to me, the organization, the environment, and the personnel matter as much as the coach, because all these guys are brilliant football minds. Jim Schwartz is a brilliant football mind. Todd Monken is a brilliant football mind. Same thing with Schwartz. Same thing with Udinski. The problem is the Browns are behind the 8 ball so bad.
Dude, it's just you're mentioning this environment in Buffalo. What environment exists? Like, they just fired their head coach also. These jobs are vacant for a reason, because they fell short in the playoffs. You've got an owner that goes up there that's blaming coaching staff for the GM's decision to draft Keon Coleman, that the clip comes out on social media that it was Brandon Beane, the GM, that wanted Keon Coleman, completely contradicting what the owner said in his press conference. Like, I don't think it's all sunshine and rainbows in Buffalo right now, and it's not in Cleveland either. I'm not trying to prop up our situation, because this process hasn't made any sense, and if they wanted to hire Udinski today, we don't think that they even can. So it's not to put lipstick on this pig. It's just that grass ain't always greener, and just because they have Josh Allen doesn't mean that that's a better environment.
He covers a lot of problems up.
They don't have a receiver. Who's catching the football for them next year for Udinski? It's some of the same problems that we're having here. Same thing with Pittsburgh. Why are people talking about Pittsburgh? They have no path to solve their quarterback crisis that's been going on since Roethlisberger went away. What's the plan there? They might be further away from a plan than we are, because at least we could suffer through another year of losing and have a premier draft pick. Pittsburgh's too prideful.
Mike McDaniel's willing to interview with them. Wasn't willing to interview with the Browns. Took the Chargers coordinator job there, but he's willing to go to Buffalo. He's going to go to Miami or stay in Miami and do that interview, but he's willing to do that. And that right there tells you the difference. Like, that right there's your difference, Nick. That is, the Browns had him booked for an interview, and he said, no, I'm going to go be Jim Harbaugh's offensive coordinator. And then lo and behold, a couple of days later, here we are on Friday, and the Bills call, hey, can we interview you for the head coach job? Yeah, sure, no problem. When and where? I'll be there. That's my point. That's the difference. Mike McDaniel don't even want to talk to the Browns, but he wants to talk to the Bills, even though he's probably not getting the job. I'm just saying, like, gotta call it the way I see it. I'm just saying. But hey, one of the kids got to talk to the Browns today. Can you feel the excitement? Feel that Grant Udinski fever? I know I have it. Not really. And I hear the comment section on YouTube is always a hot time.
I've been in the chat today a little bit.
You have?
Yeah.
It's not always good for your health.
I was going to say.
It rolls off my back.
But also, if you'd like to get in the comment section, Tuesday nights 7 to 9, Daryl, you've done a good job on that show.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
You and Coach Lance and Jake.
We have a good time on the fan.
The Browns special?
The fan off-season special. Yes. And we're still covering a coaching search. And we're still covering a coaching search here on a bitter cold Friday morning. By the way, if you're going outside, bundle up. Do not leave much skin exposed. Well,
and take it with you, because it's warmer now than it's going to be when you get off work today.
Correct.
Right.
100%. We had a poll put out this morning. Which head coach would lead to the most excitement from Browns fans entering next season? And I blame you, Nick, for this poll, because you dropped the insane idea that who could be a head coach for the Browns? Go ahead, tell the folks. Remind everyone. So now you don't want to say it.
So I don't think that it's going to be.
But no. This is your theory, your thought.
It's
Say
just
it
an
with your
idea.
chest.
It's just an idea that I had. That
Stand by it.
That since they're taking their time with fulfilling this Rooney Rule, and you floated the idea multiple times throughout the week that perhaps there's a mystery candidate, and maybe it's somebody in the college football coaching ranks. And I just so happen to connect the dots that there's a head coach that's in the college ranks that has a strong connection to the current starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders, and that's his dad, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders.
So Deion Sanders was included in this poll. Your options: Grant Udinski, Nate Shieldhouse, Jim Schwartz, and Deion Sanders. Those are your options on the poll on X. And, of course, our social media reactions on X brought to you by Scheibin Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Right now, running away with this is Grant Udinski with nearly 56% of the vote, 55.9% for Grant Udinski. Jim Schwartz, may the Schwartz be with you, at 21.4%. Deion Sanders, though, third in line. Maybe you're not as crazy as I think you are. 14.6% say Deion. And then bringing up the old caboose there is Nate Shieldhouse at 8.1%.
So that's a little concerning that Coach Prime, who it's not going to be, is the more popular candidate than Nathan Shieldhouse, who it very well could be. That's not good, because that tells me that if they go ahead and hire Shieldhouse, that's not going to be a popular hire amongst the fans.
Well, yeah, I mean,
if fans would rather have Coach Prime, who's struggling to get wins at Colorado.
Well, this was not a who would you rather have poll, right? This would be
who's going to give the excitement? Who's going to bring the juice?
Most exciting.
Right. So fans wouldn't be excited by Shieldhouse. I feel like that's not good.
No. I mean, right now, he's dead last.
Would you
Behind
say
Coach
he's
Prime, who it's not going to be?
Daryl, you're the Browns insider for the station, right? Would you say he would be, out of who we know to be candidates right now, is he the betting favorite?
You know what? Can I rank the candidates?
Oh.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Maybe I should do that, because right now we got 4 that we know of, right?
Right.
Let's rank them. Here we go. Number 4, Todd Monken.
Okay.
Number 3, Jim Schwartz. I don't believe is going to be the head coach.
Now, these are odds on, right?
These are my odds. These is me saying this and no one else. Number 2, Nate Shieldhouse, which means my leader in the clubhouse, numero uno, Grant Udinski.
Who's
the boy
probably talking to them right now, right?
Listen, they may be having breakfast. They may be having a little brunch.
Do you think they've got the station on and like the car that
Maybe
picks
they're
them
over.
up from the airport, and maybe they're listening to us right now?
I'm not going to flatter myself. I'm going to say odds are probably not. There are other people in the building that I guarantee you are listening, but I don't think.
And those people are Daryl.
We are definitely not going down that road, because I would like to join you guys Monday morning. I believe it's 8:20.
You might be
Sunday.
an unemployed
We gotta
Browns
do our
beat reporter and just
Well,
need a
that's
regular
why
job.
I'm not ranking anyone in the organization who may or may not be listening to this show right now, and very unhappy that I am less than enthused with the current coaching candidate pool, because until they find a quarterback, I just feel that the whole exercise is hopeless.
But-
only because, just because this is, I got to count them now. This is, let's see, 6, 7, 8. This would be my 9th Browns full-time head coach.
So you don't like,
And in there, I've had 2 interim coaches, too.
so you don't like my game plan though, that okay, maybe this year they don't find their quarterback, but they hire one of these young guys, and then they're really putting their chips towards that 2027 draft to draft their first round quarterback, and then pairing that would be a 31-year-old head coach with a rookie quarterback, and that's your future right there with an offensive line that's going to get rebuilt this season and a wide receiver position group that's going to have a little bit of younger talent injected into it this season. There's your future right there. At that point, Myles Garrett's only 32. He's not a fossil.
I will admit, Well, no, Miles. Yeah, okay.
He'd be in 2027.
I had to do the math. Here's why I'm apprehensive and very unenthused about it, and it's simply because you're looking at another double-digit loss season, and I don't know how many more of those Browns fan has in them. Like,
so double-digit would be like they go like 7-10 next year.
Like I don't know how many more you can ask your fan base to keep going through.
I feel that,
and the reason why I say that is because this franchise continues to promise short-term pain for long-term results, and this franchise never ever delivers on the long-term result.
Yeah.
That's and this is why I'm struggling with this head coach search, because again, we've done the young whippersnappers, okay? We've done it, and it has not worked out. And it's been an epic, abject failure at the same time. So that's why I'm struggling so much with this, Nick. If this were the Ravens or the Steelers, look, the Steelers I think are in worse shape team-wise than the Browns are. But I feel like their job is more attractive because organizationally, their track record is a lot better than the Browns. Even though they're in the same quarterback hell the Browns are in, it's just not been as long. It's just been since Ben Roethlisberger, right? And they've just been trying to keep it afloat with, hodgepodge and guys together and duct tape and all that kind of thing, which, by the way, is similar to what the Browns have done. But here's the difference. To the frustration of Steeler fan, they still find a way to win 8, 9, 10 games per season. While doing that, they still find way. Where the Browns, well, yeah, we can't find a guy, we don't have a guy, so we got to lose 12 games every year. Like, that's my frustration, is I look around the league at franchises that have similar problems that the Browns have, and they're real problems.
Mm-hmm. Like Pittsburgh, you can't debate. They have no quarterback, and they have no path to find one.
Now, they're going to have to bottom out. If they're going to turn, they're going to have to bottom out. They're going to have to lose 12, 13, 14 games this season to get up there to position themselves to get that. But I don't care about them. I'm not interested in what it's going to take for them to turn it around or what it's going to take for them to win a playoff game. I'm concerned about the Browns, okay? I want to see the Browns do this. I'm not rooting against them. I hope whoever they hire, I hope he's here for 12 years, 13 years. I hope he turns this thing around. I hope they find their franchise quarterback. I hope Browns fans, we're sitting here every January fighting over what it's going to take for them to get to the Super Bowl, okay? Get past the divisional round or get past the conference championship, right? That's what I hope we're fighting over. Not fighting over the young up-and-coming head coach and why it doesn't feel so great, or fighting over, is Shedeur Sanders the franchise quarterback of the future? Do they got to draft the guy? Who should they draft? Which is the same conversation we have over and over again to our, we're blue in the face, right? I'd rather be in Buffalo's situation where they fired Sean McDermott, whether you agree or disagree with that decision. By the way, it'd be nice if the Browns could, be rumored to have some interest in him. That would be good.
What's up with that? Nobody. Not like Vegas, no. Arizona, no. And I get, you only get 2 shots at this, is how this goes. And that's why a lot of people thought maybe McDaniel wasn't interested here, because he wasn't going to risk his second livelihood in the NFL on the Cleveland Browns. But nothing on the McDermott front from the entire National Football League, including here in Cleveland, outside of the Mary Kay Cabot report that said they've done their homework on him and they're continuing to do homework on McDermott, but they're focused on their 2 young candidates in Udinski and Shieldhouse.
Yeah.
And you better hope, by the way, that Shieldhouse, is interested in this, because they're saying that his meeting with Pittsburgh went well. And you look at the situation in LA, didn't McVay almost consider retiring a year ago? That'd be an awful comfy job for him to just promote himself right up in Los Angeles if he wants to hang around as the pass game coordinator.
Something tells me that him having the Rams back in the NFC Championship, he's got his second wind. I feel like Sean McVay's got his second wind, and he's, because there is a lot of mental fatigue. Kevin Stefanski, I think, got mental fatigue here. 13 different starting quarterbacks, having to change out coordinators, which, by the way, is just part of the job. But, here there's, circumstances that weren't necessarily in his control when it came to changing out the coordinators, and the collaboration that you have to do here, and not every decision is your decision and your fate isn't always in your hands. Like, that wears on you. And that's, that's why, like, I'm at peace with them moving on from Kevin and him going to Atlanta. I wish him well. I think he's going to be successful down there. I saw what he did here with Nick Chubb and the run game, and Bill Callahan's joining him down. I have no doubts that they're going to be successful down there in Atlanta, and wish them well. But, like, I'm worried about the Browns. I'm not worried about the Steelers. I think the Ravens hiring Minter, that's going to end up being a nightmare for the Browns to deal with for years to come, but that's just the way she goes. It's on the Browns to find their guy to turn this thing around. And these guys are just so young and raw and impressionable as a young potential head coach.
Yeah.
That I worry about the circumstances here that they're being brought into and whether or not they're going to be set up for success.
I think that's fair. It's just my big thing is you've got to keep trying until you find your guy. You have to keep trying because no Super Bowl winning retread has ever won one with another team. So I'm not interested in McCarthy.
A lot of second-time head coaches struggle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Hugh Jackson's like right at the top of that
for
list,
sure.
Right? A lot of second-time NFL
Hugh
head
Jackson,
coaches
by
struggle.
The way, and like Hugh Jackson,
I don't think Harbaugh's going to struggle in New York.
That hire was widely nationally applauded. That the Browns went out there and they got their guy and they hired Hugh Jackson, and that was the guy that everybody around the league in 2016 wanted to hire, and the Browns got it done.
I know.
And everybody was sure that he was going to be the offensive genius and the quarterback whisperer that was going to stop our search for a franchise quarterback, and it never materialized. It never came close to materializing.
Yeah.
So, and you know what they did? Then they had to take another swing, and that next swing was Freddie Kitchens because he at least agreed with the young quarterback that they had and they were trying to develop and bring along, and that turned out to be the wrong stone. So, yeah, they've unturned a couple of wrong stones and way too many wrong stones for Browns fans, and Browns fans deserve a winner, but you got to keep taking swings, and I know you want Harbaugh, and I think he could probably have some success in New York as well because, again, they invested a first-round pick into their quarterback in Jackson Dart. That's just the reality. The Browns did not do that in the first round. They drafted a defensive tackle in the first round. So it's just different reality of where the Browns are at. And I think that's why I'm not mad that they're meeting with these young offensive coordinators because you're going to have a young offense here over the next 2 years that you're going to want a young, innovative coach to bring fresh ideas to the table.
Former Browns offensive coordinators, Bruce Arians. I think you'd agree he was widely successful, correct? Yes? You sign up for that, right? Brian Daboll, former Browns offensive coordinator under Eric Mangini. Brad Childress, Norv Turner, both really good guys. Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, but with Norv Turner, didn't we kind of just realize at the end he was an OC?
He was at the end, but hey, still very accomplished, right? Kyle Shanahan, though. I mean, they've had
similar though with Kyle. We could be having this conversation with Kyle next year because what's he won?
All I know is, like, with whatever the 49ers went through this year, man, the fact that they got as far as they did, the situation being what it is, I quite frankly think Kyle Shanahan worked miracles.
Yeah, but if it doesn't go to the Super Bowl next year, does he get McDermotted?
I'd take him.
He's already been to the Super Bowl twice,
yeah,
so he's ahead
fair.
of McDermott there.
I would take him here in a heartbeat.